older we get, the more mature we are to eat. Ask your neighbor, what are you taking in? See, because sometimes you can take in some childish things. When all I had was a bag of chips for lunch. My question is why? All I had was 2 donuts for lunch. You know good and well. It's what you take in that affects your growth. Let me say that again. It's what you take in that affects your growth. Not only physically, but spiritually. If you're taking in that Cheaters program, if you're taking in those reality TV shows, if you're taking in those judge shows, come on, somebody talk to me. I must be around your neighborhood because ain't nobody saying nothing. You don't understand, Pastor. I love some Young and the Restless. Don't I understand? But it's fake. I spent all day watching SummerSlam. Wrestling. I watched it all day. We got Peacock. I sit there and the screen didn't come on until 7. I sit there and watched it. I watched the blank screen until it came on. Because I didn't want to miss it. And then when it was over, I wanted to take my shower. And my wife said, "Why didn't you take your shower already?" Hey, I don't bother you in your program. Now, there's a difference in youth and maturity. This story, this is a true story, y'all. This is me and Junior were watching wrestling, okay? Junior's 2 years old, that's that baby right there's age. Junior climbs up on the top of the couch, jumps off the top of the couch and lands in the middle of my back. I am paralyzed. You hear me? I'm paralyzed. I can't move because it went from the middle of my back to all over. Wife came in and said, "I bet you stop watching it now." Yeah, he was trying to put moves on me. And then when it wouldn't work for me, he went to his sister. She said, "Stop watching it." That was his immaturity. But now that we are mature, there's certain things we don't do. We recognize the real from the fake. We recognize, tell your neighbor, recognize the real from the fake. Drake sings about fake love. And there's a lot of fake love. But you can tell it. Straight to my friend. Thank you. Help me with that. Straight up. Tell my friend, you're looking at me right here. How many know there's some folk that will look you in the eye and lie? Look you in the eye and don't care nothing about you. Where my 70s group at? Let me bring it back to the OJ. They'll smile in your face. What all of y'all? Backstabbers. You know the backstabbers? Don't answer that. Don't answer that. You might be sitting by one of the other ones. Or the backstabbers looking at you, see if you know who they are. But a tree is known by its fruits. Hebrews 3:13 says that anyone who lives on milk, being still an infant, is not acquainted with the teachings about righteousness, but solid food is for the mature. Oh, Lord have mercy. Ask your neighbor, are you on baby food or T-bone? But solid food is for the mature who by constant use have trained themselves to distinguish good from evil. It's because we stay in the Word. And God has given us discernment that we understand the difference between good and evil. God has called us to a higher standard. Perhaps you say, Reverend, I'm struggling with this love thing. How do I change? I want to love, but I'm in the world so much, and the world has taught me so much that I want to change, but I don't know how to change. Well, there was a newspaper columnist by the name of Minister George Crane. He tells of a wife who came into the office full of hatred toward her husband. She says, I do not only want to get rid of him, I want to get even before I divorce him. I want him to hurt him. I want to hurt him as much as he has hurt me. Dr. Crane suggested an ingenious plan. Dr. Crane said, go home and act like you really love your husband. Tell him how much he means to you. Praise him for every decent trait. Go out of your way to be kind. Go out of your way to be considerate and generous as possible. He told the wife, spare no effort to please him, to enjoy him. Make him believe that you love him. After you convinced him of your undying love, that you cannot live without him, he said, then drop the bomb. Tell him that you're ready to get a divorce. He said that will really hurt him with revenge in her eyes. She smiled and said, that is a great idea. She said, I got it now. All I have to do is pretend that I love him. Am I right about it? For 2 months she showed him love. For 2 months she showed him kindness. For 2 months she was listening to every word that he said. For 2 months she gave him everything that she had. For 2 months she shared everything she had with him. After a while, and by, Mr. Crane didn't hear from the woman anymore. Well, he called her one day and said, are you ready? Are you ready to get your divorce? The lady replied on the phone, your divorce? Oh, don't you know that I love him more now than I did back then? She said, now I understand that I really do love him. Well, what changed? Her actions had changed her feelings. Emotion resulted in emotion. And I declare to you today, and to keep on trying, to love one another. If you keep on trying, to love your neighbor. If you keep on trying, to love the sick. If you keep on trying, to love the homosexual. If you keep on trying to love those that stab you in the back. If you keep on trying to love those who have showed you fake love. If you keep on trying to love those who despise you, after a while, Lord have mercy, after a while, you find yourself really loving them. Can I get a witness in the house? You can't talk about love without talking about Jesus. Am I right about it? Because of love, He came through 42 generations. Because of love, he was born of a virgin, wrapped in swaddling clothes. Because of love, he healed the sick and he raised the dead. Am I right about it? Because of love, he had that talk with the Father in the Garden of Gethsemane. Is anybody here that out of love you had to talk to your daddy? Oh, Father, do you see how they treat me? Oh, Father, do you see how they're using me? Do you see what they said about me? Teach me how to love them anyway. Is there anybody here that the Lord is teaching you how to love your neighbor? Am I right about it this morning? Love, yeah, they let him take him and they got me whipped him all night long. It was out of love that he allowed them to put a crown of thorns upon his head. It was out of love that he carried the cross up to Golgotha's hill. It was out of love that he allowed them to put nails in his hands and nails in his feet. I wish I was at a prayer church this morning that knew it was because of love that he woke you up this morning. It's because of love that you have what you have. Not your education, not your money, not your history. Yeah, it lifted me when nothing else could help. Love lifted me. It was out of love. Yes, it was.